today's video, I'm going to explain you how our adoption system works, and this is very important. If you listen to this video, you will know what it is to do to adopt one of our dogs. Let me begin by telling you that we adopt all over the world except two exceptions. One is war zones, so please, if you're watching this from Afghanistan or Somalia, unfortunately, we cannot do it. Secondly, of course, we cannot send dogs to places where the animal has to be in quarantine upon arrival. Now, there are two places that specifically come to mind. One of them is Japan, and the other one is Australia. Now, I know we have lots of friends in both countries. I have very good friends in Japan, and I get lots of adoption applications from Australia regularly, but unfortunately, we cannot do it. I mean, not only is it really far, but most importantly, the moment the animal gets there, it has to go into a quarantine location and be there for 3 months or something. So really, it's better not to do this. I mean, it's technically feasible, but it's not something that we will prefer for our animals. So other than that, the rest of the world is open, which basically in practice means Europe or most of Europe and the United States. We also get offers from adoption from Latin America, but I have to say that so far it hasn't happened. We have rescued quite a few animals from South America, but we haven't had any adoptions there. So whenever you see one of our animals, for example, let's say Coco, right? He was rescued the other day. He's still on treatment, he's in a foster home, but he's looking for a good home. I ask people to please write a letter to me. Write a letter, take your time, consider this like a job application, right? So imagine you're trying to put yourself in the best possible light and convince me that you're gonna be a great home for this animal. Tell me everything about yourself, about you personally, about your background, your studies or not, your living conditions, where do you live, your family, and most importantly, tell me everything about your current animals. It's really important that I understand what are your family dynamics. It's very important that I understand the kind of lives that your animals have in your home so that I can judge whether my animal, Coco for example, is gonna fit in your house or not. Very important, please include pictures. And not only pictures of yourself, but most importantly, pictures of yourself with your animals. Show me the kind of lives that your animals have. Sometimes I get really nice letters, but people fail to include any pictures, so it makes things really difficult. I mean, at the moment, we have a number of families that have applied to us. They have really good letters, really great pictures, and then is the other step. I have to read everything and have to process it myself. I consider a very part of this job and my role in this organization to screen every single family that go through the adoption process. So everybody that has adopted an animal from us has always had a personal contact with me. I've always replied to him or to her, have a good conversation on the phone, have a FaceTime, and then we get to know each other. We rely on my many years of experience in assessing human character to take the final decision. I mean, it's a really difficult job because you have to get a feel for how the person is, and you have to evaluate whether the animal is going to be happy in that home or not, through indirect ways. I mean, through email or through conversations over the phone. But usually we manage really well, and that's why pictures are so important. I mean, you can have a good conversation with me for an hour, 30 minutes, and I might end up having the wrong impression. But if you send me pictures of the lives of your animals, if I can see how they live, if I can see them over the years, then I can pretty much see how my animal is going to live with you. So, another thing that is really important, and very important, and everybody has to know this, the families that adopt one of our animals do not have to pay an adoption fee with us. They also do not have to pay a transportation fee. We do not charge families for the transport of the animals to their homes. Why do we do this? Look, we think that we have to make as easy as possible for families to take on one of our animals. Now, it is really important that this adoption is for life, and these families know that this is a big responsibility for life. But we don't want to really make it even more difficult than it is and having them pay for it. I mean, in purity, yeah, you could say, yeah, it's fair that the family pays for the expenses, but the thing is that these expenses can be really big. And also, very importantly, if we send an animal to another country without having one of us with him, then we're going to miss that very important part, which is the arrival of the family to the house, to see how they interact with the animal, to see whether there is any problem, to see if we can help making the introduction much easier both for the animal and the home. I usually go on these trips. It's a beautiful moment for me. I enjoy meeting the families. I enjoy making new friends and building a connection and making the community stronger. But for the last year and a half, I'm here to say that I haven't traveled. I haven't been out of the country. Restrictions for travel have been really tough. I also had health issues, so I kind of delegated a bit. I sent Sergio over here to quite a few trips. My brother also went, and then we also travel locally. So it's really important that we go on these journeys. So we cannot ask from the family to also take care of the ticket for one of us or two of us. So this is why this organization doesn't work that way. What we do is we have a large number of followers, we have a large number of friends, so we usually make a fundraiser for the trip of a particular animal. With that money, we pay for the expenses for the trip, all kinds of permits, and then the trip for one of us that goes there, or two of us that go there, films everything, and then we're able to show you how the adoption process went, and we're building trust in the way the community works. Imagine that we send an animal to the United States, for example, and we have to rely on the pictures that the family sent us. Come on, it's so beautiful to see how the animal gets integrated in the family. It's so beautiful for everybody to realize that this is a very large community and that we are all bonded together by something very, very strong, which is our animals. We couldn't do that if we charge the families for a transport fee of the animal home. We've sent animals to the United States, all over Europe. We've sent them, to so many places. And always one of us has been there in order to show you the happy end of this animal. Also, please think about this. This is a YouTube channel. This is an organization that rescues animals, but we rely on this YouTube channel to show you what we do. How can we show you this if we just put the animal on a transport? Of course, we have necessary exceptions. For example, for the past year, when we had the pandemic and we couldn't travel, we had to send some animals to the UK. And the only possible way to send an animal to the UK from here, from Spain, from another European country, was through road using a specific pre-authorized transport. Now, we really don't like to do it that way, but we have a great transport. We're super reliable, super safe. All our animals travel in tip-top luxury conditions, and we have used them in the past, and we probably have to continue using them while this pandemic continues raging on. But the situation is changing little by little. Now, I know other organizations in other parts of the world, people like Soy Dog, people like Takis, for example, they're having their own particular challenges. I know, for example, the US has restricted the entry of foreign dogs coming from specific countries. Thailand is one of them. Spain is not. It's super simple to send an animal to the US right now. Well, the problem is that none of us can travel with him at the moment. Lately, we sent some animals to South America. We sent Aaron to Colombia, and we sent Baloo to Argentina. But those were special cases. These dogs belong to those families already. So it was like okay, we send you your dog. So we never went with them. But one of our rescues, if it's been an animal that I have rescued myself, of course, one of us is going to go and deliver the animal. Sandro in Paris, for example, he went there lately. Romeo in France, we went, we always travel with them, and that's really, really important. So, please send me a letter, include everything about you and your animals, include pictures, and please be patient. please understand that I receive all these letters. I am the one that has taken on the commitment and the obligation to read them all, to process them all, to contact with you directly. If I don't reply to your letter, for whatever reason, please write back to me again. Just reply and say, Viktor, did you get this letter? Please write to me. It is possible that I got your letters in the first place. I read it, I made a note to reply, and simply just life took over. I have a massive responsibility here. I have 2 kids. They are 5.5-year-old, and I'm completely overwhelmed. So sometimes good letters fall through the cracks, and this is entirely my fault. I mean, I'm trying to do it as best as I can. If something happens like this, just please resend me your letter. Don't be afraid. I mean, just say, hey Viktor, please reply to me. Just I'm here, and I promise you I'm gonna do whatever I can to make it work. The last year and a half has been really difficult for adoptions. It's been really difficult to transport animals outside of the country. This is why we also place a special emphasis in finding homes locally. Please bear in mind, Spain is one of the countries worst affected by the pandemic. Spain is one of the countries that has been affected economically in a bigger way. I mean, we have very few families here willing and able to adopt our animals. As I said, we don't charge anything. We don't charge adoption fees. We don't ask them for money, but still, sometimes it's really too much for the families locally. This is why we have to continue to rely on adoptions abroad, and this is why I'm here to encourage you. Please write to me. Have a look at our list of animals for adoption. Please write to me. Please write to me. Sometimes, for example, if you wanted to adopt Logan, maybe Logan may not be the animal for you, but we will talk. We will find the right doggy for your home. You'll be surprised how many times somebody has wanted to adopt a particular animal and has ended up adopting another one or 2. So we really want to encourage adoptions. We try to make it as easy as possible. We are not one of those organizations that make things really difficult, that put all kinds of barriers. We're not like this. We want to make it work, but we also want to be sure that our animal is going to be going to an extraordinary family. The truth is that we don't have so many animals to adopt. So each one of our dogs is unique, and each one of our dogs deserves a very special treatment and care. In the past, things happen. Sometimes some animals went to the wrong homes and then they were returned. It's been quite a few years that we do this, and we've gone through everything. We just want to make sure that every adoption is perfect, and I'm sure you understand. So please write to me. Tell me which one of our animals you would like to adopt. Write me a good letter. Include pictures. And if I don't reply, just resend the letter. Pester me. Tell me, Viktor, you told me to write to you again. And I promise you, I'm going to get in touch. Guys, thank you very much for being here. Thanks for your support. And I need to ask you to please consider helping us. We need to continue saving lives. We need to have your support. All of this is not possible if we don't have your help. So please, if you can, donate, help me continue saving lives. So please join me on my support group on Patreon. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow.